A private island in the Bahamas just sold for $6.5 million. The buyer thought that was the hard part. It wasn't. By the end of year one, they'd spent another $3.1 million they hadn't budgeted for, and the island still had no running water. Here is the real math nobody puts in the brochure. Buying a private island is not a purchase. It is a business. A business with no customers, no revenue model, no power grid, no roads, and a caretaker who costs $120,000 a year just to stop the jungle from swallowing the dock. Today we are running the actual numbers: purchase price, development, annual operating costs, and the one scenario where the math actually works in your favor. Because there is a way to own a private island and not go broke doing it. It just looks nothing like what you picture when you close your eyes and imagine it. Let's start with the sticker price, because it is the one number that surprises people in the wrong direction. Private islands are cheaper than most people think, and more expensive to own than almost anyone accounts for. According to data from Private Island Market, which tracks active listings across more than 25 countries, prices in 2025 and 2026 range from $50,000 on the low end all the way past $100 million on the high end. Here is what each tier actually buys you. $50,000 to $300,000. You are looking at a small lake island in Canada, Nova Scotia, Ontario, or a tiny archipelago island in Scandinavia. Under 5 acres, seasonal access only, no infrastructure at all, cold water, no beach. Think of it as a very remote campsite you happen to own. $300,000 to $2 million. This is where the tropical dream starts appearing on the listing sheet. A small, undeveloped island in Panama, Belize, or the outer Bahamas. You get the location, you get the sand, you get nothing else. No electricity, no fresh water, no structure. The listing photo is gorgeous. The due diligence document is a list of everything that does not exist there. $2 million to $15 million. Partially developed Caribbean or South Pacific islands, with some infrastructure in place. Maybe a generator, maybe a small structure, maybe a dock. Maybe. This is where most serious private buyers actually transact. $15 million and above, fully developed luxury islands, private airstrips, desalination plants, staff quarters, multiple villas, the whole setup. This is the Richard Branson tier. Necker Island in the British Virgin Islands, which Branson bought for $180,000 in 1978 and developed over years into a full resort, now generates rental income of $80,000 per night when rented as a whole island. So purchase price, clear enough. But here is where the economics get genuinely complicated. The purchase price of a private island is almost never the number that breaks buyers. The number that breaks them comes next. Every undeveloped or partially developed island comes with a development tab. And because of where these islands are located, surrounded by water, nowhere near a Home Depot, that tab is always higher than any contractor's first quote. Let's build out a realistic mid-range scenario. A $3 million Caribbean island in the Bahamas that needs full development to be livable. Here is the itemized build cost based on real figures from Bahamas Island brokers and development guides. Architect and engineering design team. $300,000, $2,000 per square feet. Main villa at $1,000 per square feet. Island premium builds at roughly double mainland cost. $2 million caretaker or utility building. 1,000 square feet. 500,000 generator. Electrical systems and fuel storage. $100,000 water system. Desalination unit producing 1,000 gallons per day, plus storage and distribution. $250,000 to $350,000 satellite and communications infrastructure. $20,000 boat. You need one. It's not optional. $100,000 50-foot dock. $250,000 total development cost on a $3 million island. $3.62 million. You just paid $3 million for the island and $3.7 million to make it usable. Total outlay before operating costs, $6.7 million. And construction costs on islands run 30% to 60% higher than equivalent mainland builds, because every bag of cement, every piece of pipe, every worker arrives by boat. Weather delays are not an inconvenience. They are a line item. Now here is something that doesn't appear on any listing but should: the desalination system. Fresh water is the single biggest infrastructure challenge on most tropical islands. A residential desalination unit, producing 1,000 gallons per day, costs $200,000 to $350,000 installed. Maintenance runs $5,000 to $15,000 per year, including membrane replacements. The alternative, shipping water in by boat, costs more and is less reliable. If you skip this infrastructure, the island is not a retreat. It is a campsite with a high purchase price. Here is the math most buyers run before purchasing. Purchase price plus development equals total cost. Here is the math they should run. Purchase price plus development, plus every year of operating costs, times however many years they plan to own it. Annual operating costs for a mid-range developed Bahamas private island run $315,000 to $620,000 per year, based on real data from island owners and brokers. Let's break it down. Caretaker salary, $100,000 to $250,000 per year. You cannot leave a tropical island unattended. Vegetation reclaims structures in months. Systems fail. Security risks are real. A caretaker is not a luxury. It is the minimum cost of keeping the asset intact. Additional staff, landscaping, maintenance, $20,000 to $100,000 fuel, $25,000 to $50,000. Generators, boats, everything runs on it. Boat maintenance, $60,000. Facilities maintenance, $50,000 property tax, Bahamas, 1% of assessed land and development value, $60,000 per year on a $6 million developed island insurance. Property, liability, environmental, $60,000 to $120,000 per year. Running total, $375,000 to $690,000 per year, just to keep the lights on and the dock from rotting. Over 10 years of ownership, $3.75 million to $6.9 million in operating costs alone. That is on top of the $6.7 million purchase and development cost. A $3 million island, fully developed and held for 10 years, has a realistic total cost of ownership of $10 million to $13.6 million. That is the pure cost side. Now let's look at the scenario where the economics actually flip. Because there is one, and it is the only version of island ownership that makes financial sense. The only economically rational way to own a private island, unless you are personally worth $50 million or more and have no interest in the numbers, is to rent it. And the rental rates on whole island exclusive bookings in the Bahamas are genuinely extraordinary. Little Whale Cay in the Berry Islands of the Bahamas rents for $150,000 per week as of 2024. That is a single week. Other Bahamas islands rent from $30,000 per week on the lower end of the luxury market. Now let's run a real revenue model for our $6.7 million developed island. Scenario: rent the island for 20 weeks per year at an average of $60,000 per week. That is a conservative number for a well-developed Bahamas island with multiple villas and proper staff. Gross annual revenue, $1,200,000. Operating costs during rental periods, staff, food, services, additional fuel. Estimated $400,000 for 20 weeks of active occupancy, on top of baseline costs. Baseline annual operating costs, $375,000 to $500,000. Net annual income, approximately $300,000 to $425,000 net per year. You are covering roughly 60% to 80% of your total annual carry costs. Not break even, but not hemorrhaging capital either. To actually break even on a $6.7 million all-in cost island, with $500,000 annual operating costs, you would need to generate roughly $670,000 per year in net revenue, achievable at higher rental rates or higher occupancy, but not guaranteed, and heavily dependent on marketing, management, and the island's accessibility. The honest break-even timeline: at $300,000 annual net income against $6.7 million invested, you are looking at approximately 22 years to recoup the purchase and development cost through rental income alone, not accounting for any property appreciation. That is a long horizon. But here is the variable that changes everything. The Caribbean prime residential market has risen 27% over the past 5 years, according to data from Savills, cited by Hope Research Group. The Bahamas specifically recorded a 54% year-over-year surge in home sales in Q4 2024, with prices driven by finite supply and growing demand from globally mobile, high-net-worth buyers. Here is the supply reality that underpins that appreciation. The Bahamas has approximately 700 islands. Fewer than 30 are privately inhabited. That ratio is not going to change. There are no new islands being made. Richard Branson bought Necker Island for $180,000 in 1978. That same island is now valued in excess of $100 million and generates $80,000 per night in rental income at peak rates. That is an asset that appreciated by more than 55,000% over 46 years, driven almost entirely by development, brand, and the scarcity of what it represents. Now, most private island buyers are not building the next Necker Island, but the appreciation data is real, and it matters for the investment math. If our $6.7 million island appreciates at even half the Caribbean market average, call it 13% over 5 years, the asset value after 5 years is approximately $7.57 million. That is an $870,000 gain on paper, against $500,000 per year in operating costs for 5 years, $2.5 million total, offset by roughly $1.5 million in rental income over the same period. Net cost of ownership for 5 years, approximately $1 million. So the real economic case for private island ownership is not the rental yield. It is the combination of rental income partially offsetting carry costs, plus asset appreciation in a structurally supply-constrained market. If you are planning to sell in 10 to 15 years into a rising luxury market, the math can genuinely work. If you are planning to hold it forever and never rent it, you are spending $500,000 a year to maintain a very beautiful, very expensive, very remote property that the jungle will eventually win back the moment you stop paying. Let's put the island economics in direct comparison, because this is the number the video promised at the start. Option A. Buy and develop a Bahamas private island. All-in cost, $6.7 million annual carry, $500,000 annual rental offset, $300,000 to $425,000. Net annual cost, $75,000 to $200,000 10-year total out of pocket. After rental income, approximately $750,000 to $2 million. Asset value after 10 years, at 5% annual appreciation, approximately $10.9 million 10-year net position. Gain of roughly $2.2 million to $4.2 million. If you rent aggressively, manage costs tightly, and sell into a strong market. Option B. Invest $6.7 million in a broad market index fund at historical 7% real return. 10-year value, approximately $13.2 million annual income if taking 4%. Withdrawal, $268,000, which, coincidentally, is almost exactly enough to rent a private island for 4 to 5 weeks per year, at luxury rates, 0 caretaker cost, 0 dock maintenance, 0 desalination membranes. The index fund wins on pure return, every time. But the index fund does not give you a physical asset with scarcity value in a tax-free jurisdiction, a generational wealth transfer vehicle, and the kind of status that no portfolio statement has ever produced. Which brings us to the only honest conclusion about private island economics. A private island is not a bad investment. It is a specific investment, one that requires a development budget most buyers underestimate by 50%, annual operating costs most buyers never calculate at all, and a rental strategy most buyers never implement because they bought it to use it, not to run it like a business. The math that works. Buy in a supply-constrained Caribbean market. Develop it properly. Rent it for 15 to 20 weeks a year, at $50,000 to $100,000 per week. Hold for 10 to 15 years, and sell into a rising luxury market. In that scenario, your total out-of-pocket cost of ownership can realistically be close to 0. The island pays for itself and appreciates. The math that doesn't work. Buy an undeveloped island. Spend $3.7 million making it livable. Pay $500,000 a year to maintain it. Never rent it. And sell it 10 years later, hoping appreciation covered the operating costs. That path costs you between $750,000 and $2 million in real money, minimum, on top of a $6.7 million investment. The $3.1 million that buyer spent in their first year? That was development costs. Nobody quoted them up front. Now you know the number and why it exists. If breakdowns like this are useful, subscribe. Next video runs the same math on super yachts, which turns out to be even more punishing.